Coolness.
Hi, it is June 6, 2018. This is the SUMO community meeting Mozilla support, where we help users have access to the open internet with open source software. Mozilla products are what we live, speak, and breathe and collaborate with one another. So if this is the channel for you, thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for joining us this week, and thank you for joining us on post streaming for the updates of what's going on this week. We have some cool news. There are a couple, one thing right away I want to say is that Etherpad may be giving you trouble. There's also a plan to go away from Etherpad, so we have created a Google document. So if you are watching this and looking at a blank Etherpad, there should be a link to the document in there. It's public. Let me know if you have any trouble accessing it whatsoever. We also have a discussion to have with the community and hear if you have any thoughts on what to do next for these meeting notes. So first on the agenda today, please add your name to the participants list. Very much appreciate that. There is no action items from last week. There are no roundtable items, and there are no product updates. 61 is coming. Watch out, there is no meeting next week, so we will talk about 61, not next week, but the week after. I'm going to hand over the cool news of the week to Roland, because he's got a really important update for us.
Is that cool? Is that the sprint?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, there is a global sprint with events in Germany, well, Europe, India, well, South Asia, and I think there's even some in Canada, United States, I think United States, where people are coming together in real life to use a new tool that Open Innovation has developed with SUMO to do Google Play Store review replying. Woo, that's a handful. For Firefox for Android. The sprint started last Saturday. There are real-world events happening, but you can do it virtual in the comfort of your home or your cafe or home office. And I've got 3 links there for you. And the most important one is the first one where you can sign up. And then you can, the process is you have 2 choices. You can moderate a Firefox for Android Google Play Store review reply. Woo, the mouthful again. Or you can reply to a Firefox for Android Google Play Store review. We have, especially in French, we have, and I guess soon in German, we have a lot of replies to moderate. So that's why I've requested you to moderate in this item on the Google Doc. And if there's any information you require, you can email me, user defined, or Slack, or IRC. Or do we have a community forum thread? Should I start one, Rachel? Have you started one about this? Sukete, somebody?
Sukete, yes.
Has started a thread? Okay, you can, I will link to the thread and you can, in this Google Doc, and you can ask there. But it's fun, it's easy, all you need, you don't have to be a guru on Firefox or Android, but you do have to know about politeness. You do have to have a little bit of Android knowledge, and that's about it. Because you're basically reviewing people's tone, whether they're responding to the actual question, which in your native language is actually not that hard to figure out. And yeah, and it's not that hard. So yeah, please do moderate, primarily, and if you have time, secondarily, reply reviews. And this is successful, and it appears to be successful. We've already, our volunteers in the events and virtually have already done over 500 review replies, which is more than we did in 1 month. So in 5 days, we've done more than we did in 1 month as on our previous experiment in March. So it's working out well. So it is also open source. This tool is open source, which I'll put a link in here. And you could file issues for feature enhancements and bugs. I'm done. Thank you.
Awesome. I have a question in IRC. Would that doc cover Universal Sumo Day pad, the latest community meeting pad, or both? To answer your question, Z, there is a decision to be made with the community
Yeah, we
right
need
now.
to figure it out.
Yeah, in other in other documents, for example, the platform document, there is a table of contents that links to all of the meetings that have been recorded in that document. There is, I believe, a discussion happening in discourse where people are talking about alternatives, and there is a process in which you can migrate the information from previous etherpads to a new one. So we also probably want to determine how far back those need to be maintained. Sorry, how far back the etherpad information needs to be backed up. So, but so yeah, to answer that question, let's include that in the discussion that we need to start in the forums. That has been on my to-do list for the last 2 days, and I'm sorry that it hasn't been in the forums to add to. If someone else wants to start it and gets to it before me, please feel free to. But yeah, some of the questions that you have, including how far back and what content to save and which technology to use, those are some of the decisions the community needs to participate in making that decision. So thank you. Any other questions in IRC? No? Okay, I'm going to move on to the next agenda item. So there's an open call for MozFest proposals. So I believe it's until August 1st. If you have not been to a Moz festival before, it is based in London. It is an opportunity to meet other Mozillians and other open source projects and get to know what's going on in the open source space. It is hosted by Mozilla. However, it's not just Mozilla or Mozillians. It is a chance, though, to meet other Mozillians. And it is in, I believe, the last week of October. The website has all the information on what sort of guidelines there are for proposals, as well as some of the themes that they will be having this year. It is in a space, it's in a university space, so you have a couple of different floors and a couple of open tables. It's a really great way to have an open space working together. So check that out, and let us know if you're interested in going. There is some efforts around getting SUMO people there, so please feel free to reach out to me and we can talk about some proposal ideas.
And there are volunteer opportunities if you're based in England.
Yes, and someone who has been to a MozFest, Saburo or Paul, is a great person to reach out to. Yeah. I believe Constance Slayer has been as well, and I believe Yusuf has been as well, but I know that he's mostly participating in IM at the moment. There is an all hands next week in San Francisco. There will be no community meeting. If you have any last minute questions about traveling, for those of you that were invited and are going, please feel free to ping me today. Vesper will be back tomorrow. Unless we are traveling, we will be responsive. I will be, since it's in my hometown, you can ping me at any time. Unless I'm sleeping, I will do my best to help you out. Otherwise, Telegram. Yes, Telegram will work.
Chris, you hear that? Telegram. That's the way to find out when things are happening. Chris, you're coming, right?
Yeah, I've never used Telegram.
That's, well, might as well start. Because it's just like any other Mozilla event. You've been to several, or many, Chris, and you know the chaos. The only way to know the chaos for sure is where exactly are the SUMO folks? Well, Telegram is the best way to figure that out, because the schedule, as you know, just might as well just rip it up when you get there, except for time with directors and C-levels. That time doesn't change, but everything else changes, it seems. All right, I'm gonna go. See you all, some of you, physically in the so-called real world next week.
Right.
I
Thanks,
think
Roland.
virtual's just as real.
Thanks, Roland. Okay, so more updates. We have Mihal is away from keyboard today. He'll be back tomorrow. I tried to add some updates to the knowledge base. I apologize if these do not do justice because I know the knowledge base and localization does amazing things, especially right before release in 61. This is a prime time when new articles are being added. So if you have some time, check out those new articles to help us out. Get ready for 61 and get ready for some mobile updates coming in June. Uh, so I said thank you to Tonya, Suset, Angela, Seglu, Wixie, Lan, Borian, Underpass, Alice, Jarmo, and Tissiko Freeman. If I didn't mention your name here, thank you so much for all of your help in the knowledge base and localization. It is amazing the amount of participation and the quality of awesome work that you guys do. Check out
Did
the
you see
61 articles.
the
Go for
message
it.
on IRC about turning up the volume?
So the volume is as good as it's gonna get on my end. You can try
Okay.
to upgrade. You can get the so there's a button on your Mac or a button on your computer where you can turn it up. Um, so unfortunately, the headphones that I have here have been eaten by my dog. But I have new headphones on the way from Amazon. They make amazing delivery services. I did order a new one. They're bright green and I love the color. Unfortunately, they're PC only. So unless I get a new computer sometime soon, the um, I'm stuck with this microphone. So my lungs will do as much as they can to get this out to you. In the meantime, I am not straying away too much from the notes, so if you see anything that's missing, please do add them to that document. But yes, I did see the ping there. There's not much that I can do, but I will do as much as I can here. If you would like, Chris, you're more than welcome to take over. You have a pretty good set of lungs, pretty good microphone there. Do you want to try? You want to give it a try?
Not right now.
Okay, no problem, no problem. And Tesco, if you'd like to join us for one of these meetings, if you have an awesome microphone, please feel free to join. I am in the process of getting that replaced. Okay, if it's all right now, I'm gonna move on to support forum updates, if that's all right. I didn't mean to put anyone on the spot, but thank you very much for letting me know about the volume that is in the process of being taken care of. Support forums. So there's a couple of open discussions I would love to highlight for you to take a look and participate in the SUMO site design. Check out those feedback. These are forums and discussions that we will also be elaborating on at the all hands for next steps. So thank you so much for your feedback. Please, I believe the discussions are going to happen on Thursday, so we'll probably leave this forum open until then and then post any updates that come out of that. There's a post about anonymity, so working with the diversity and inclusion team on adding some guidelines around multiple accounts. We would love your opinions there. Chris, thank you so much for participating already. It's very helpful. Um, if you don't feel comfortable with participating in this discussion, you are more than welcome to reach out to me, or I have a link for you. We have another ping in IRC. Nope, just quit. No problem. And we have a couple of open product issues. So based on the post, if you missed the post-mortem on Friday, there's a link to the replay in the social support section of this document. However, a couple of issues that are still open. Not authorized to access bug 1452499. This is a security bug. So if you run into any crashes with this particular bug issue, we're looking at a fix. There's also an open discussion around why people can't see Firefox in the default browser section. So there have been some historical bugs for this one. If you're running into it, there's an open bug for 60 ESR or a closed bug for 60 ESR where old I don't know what they're called. They're HCK. They're Regit. Is that how you say it? Regit
Oh, in
define.
Windows, the
Yes.
registry.
Yes, so there's
Yeah.
registry keys that were defined in 52 for it to open up a different menu. There's two different menus from Windows 7 to Windows 10 where it's set default programs or open this app with by default, and then it will ask you, do you want to set this to HTTP? So check out if there's two different menus there, if one is listed and one is not. We're still looking for a workaround for this particular user, but if you have any more information other than what's been posted there, we'd love your help. So bugs tagged in the forums. I didn't get to link to these, but there were 3 bugs. The new tab page being blank. That was from people altering the new tab page before the update to the um, Pocket Stories. So if you don't see a little icon, check the new tab about config to see if there's an add-on or a manual change that was made in the profile. 2 other issues. I believe this was already posted in the forums, but the cookies menu changed for cache content being included when clearing cache cookies. You could still delete individual cookies from the control center. If you click on usually it's a lock. You click on the lock, it opens up the control center. You go into the permissions menu. Sorry, security menu, and you can delete cookies there. Maybe Chris, you have pointers on that one. But yeah, those are some of the bugs that were mentioned in the postmortem. If you're curious, check out the first half of the playback from last Friday. Accounts locked for Firefox Sync. So a couple of you have asked me, what do I do when people have locked out on their Firefox Sync account? So there is a verification email FAQs that we're in the process of adding the troubleshooting steps to another article. But if people do run into a locked account, wait 24 hours. Don't do anything and then try again. If you still run into the same issue where you've already troubleshooted, the accounts at firefox.com email is not in spam, as well as any issues for just being locked out or you don't have access to that email anymore. There is a link where you can create a Bugzilla there's a Bugzilla template you can create on behalf of the user if they don't want a Bugzilla account. And you can also send an email to one another to make sure that they are receiving email. So feel free to do that. On to social support. There's some new information for some appreciation and social support. Thank you for joining the postmortem. Again, check out that link. Casual supporters and add feedback to this question. So Siam is working on a Trello board where we can collaborate with both NDA contributors, social support helpers that have access to reply, and those that are casual social support contributors. The Trello board is here. We would love your feedback if you have any questions. We're meeting after this meeting to go over some of the next steps. There's also some tips that you can check out from reply users when you first get started in reply. For those of you who just joined us, this is a great reference. If you don't have access to those screen, it's about 15 minutes of videos where on YouTube, they're hosted on YouTube. This is some of the written versions of that. So since they were recorded by me, if my microphone is not loud enough, this document is a really, really great reference done by Christoph. So thank you so much for that contributions. Also the June newsletter. I just wanted to share this and say thank you to the community. If you check out the metrics, we're doing pretty good. We did 204 replies and 380 replies from reply and both from the Firefox help replies out of about 1345 total identified help me tags. Mostly in English, secondary French, third Spanish, Portuguese, and then Dutch. So thank you so much for all your help. We've grown. There's some new casual contributors. Thank you so much for your participation. I'm going to call out Jens, MKLL, Just Gerd, Hiraku, Siam, Samuel, and a couple of other users. That there's about 18 users in the. Oh, my brain is just more coffee. Okay. Sorry about that. Had to take a second to get some more coffee. We're up to 18 users, so thank you for participating. There's also a section in that link where you can check out happy tweets from happy Firefox users. So if you are not aware, in the office at Mozilla, there is a bunch of TV monitors that share these tweets from users that are excited and happy to be using Firefox. So if you need a break and would love to see some positive motivation and have been helping users that are not so positive, this is a great thing to look at. We do collections. Thank you, Noah, for this idea. Thank you, Asa, for this idea. This is a collection of some of those. So if you want to contribute to any of these, you see positive stuff, let's add them so we can share them with the rest of the community. So that's it for social. No jokes, but I do have a joke book. The delivery will be loud. Are you ready? It's about rabbits. Okay, so what do you get if you pour hot water down a rabbit hole?
Don't know.
Hot water and rabbits in a rabbit hole. Hot cross bunnies. So if you like hot cross bunnies, I guess you don't really want to eat bunnies. Sorry, vegetarians. I didn't mean to ruin your day. Rabbit stew. Yeah, good point. Good point, Noah. Thank you. So if you're hungry, please remember to eat today. If your stew is rabbit stew, I am very jealous because it tastes very yummy, especially when made well. But if you are vegetarian, I hope that the vegetarian soup is good as well. Get your veggies. As Mom used to say, eat your veggies so you can grow big and tall. Maybe they didn't say that for you, so sorry for the cultural barrier there. But in the US, when you grew up in the 80s or 90s, vegetables were pushed very hard for growing big and strong. Okay, that's it for jokes. If you have any other contributions or jokes you want to share, I'll check out IRC. No questions so far. Help needed section. So we already talked about the global sprint. The links are there. I have another help needed if you're interested. If you are tech savvy with Node.js or familiar with Glitch, there are some rumblings of an idea how to help out with bug filtering. They're thinking about using a bot or coming up with a proposal around helping categorize unfiltered Firefox component bugs. So if you are unfamiliar with Bugzilla, there's a video link there for how to get familiar. Watch that first and then reach out to Emma or myself and we can get you going with some development work around a potential ML model for categorizing keywords into the right Bugzilla quality bug component. So that's it. Are there any questions before we move on? Anything we left out? Any fun experiences from your day-to-day?
Not really. I read through the presentation that was done. I don't know how long ago, but there was documents. I think a Google Doc that was posted in Discourse. There was good stuff in there.
Are you talking about the Berlin Work Week?
Yeah, CIID, I think it's called. Yeah. So I think it's worth spending some more time just publicizing to the rest of the community. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And sometimes we just like gloss over it in meetings. What was that again?
Absolutely. Maybe we can start a post in the community forums as well. I know that Discourse is it has been identified as the forum that SUMO can push ideas out to the rest of Mozilla and the rest of things outside of. So it's kind of like the megaphone from the forums to other forums and other communities at Mozilla. we don't really have a forum in the community forums though. So I'll put an action item there to add. So decision and action items. Post the is it CII? I always get them mixed up. CCID or CCID IID. Work week agenda on the SUMO forums. Yeah.
It's interesting to see how other communities work.
Definitely.
That's it. That's my comment.
That's your comment? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't as familiar with WordPress before that work week, and if there's anything interesting that I can add from the observations was they had an interesting, similar history to Mozilla Zine and the Kitsune support forum. They had a couple of interesting dynamics there with leadership, but the other interesting point was that the wide decisions that they made and how it worked for them and how it might work for SUMO was some of the discussions. But the main points are kind of at the end. I forgot what they called them, but like there's 3 examples that they go over for case studies, and then there's a couple of recommendations that they make based off of what they observed in SUMO in the interviews, and then what they observed from these communities. So they chose these communities because they thought they were very similar to that of SUMO, and I think one of the favorite ones is like going to the user, right? Going to where people need help as opposed to.
Oh yeah.
That was really interesting. So there's been some discussions that I've been having with some of the admins where, like, we're just starting with the community. Like, what channels are we presenting to communicate with leadership or communicate with other community members? What are we promoting, and what are people actually using? Right, the difference between like for example, Telegram. At the beginning of this conversation, it's like Telegram is becoming more popular, and I personally get more pings in Telegram than I do in IRC, but I don't know where that's publicized anywhere. Like, how do we like the but
yeah,
I'm
if I remember
rambling.
correctly,
Yeah.
that's actually why the social support program was created, or I think then it was called Army of Awesome. It's because people were using social media to look for help using Firefox, and we were just directing people to the forums. And so, like, we got to get out there where people are asking questions and do support there. So it's part of that. It's a lot of parallels and similarities.
Absolutely. You make a really good point. I feel like that's what you might be doing with Reddit a little bit as well. I don't know if you've been on Reddit, but they've got a lot of similar volume of help questions. Have you been on Reddit? What's your take on it?
For Firefox specifically, I haven't been on it that much. I know that they've gotten to the point where like they actually mark threads and posts as solved and help. But actually going through the content, no, I haven't actually done much of that.
Yeah, that might be like one of those like ear to the wall. I'm putting my head on the wall, but like ear to the wall places to check out for issues. It's interesting that you're right. They mark things as solved pretty quickly in there, which is really pretty impressive.
I'll bet there are tools out there for like monitoring or aggregating content from various social media sites for a specific topic. There's got to be something out there for that.
Yes, there is. And if we're interested in that, that we can start another discussion around. That is a whole nother ball game. But sorry, the expression "whole nother ball game." For those of you who are not fans of baseball, it's a whole nother story. It's a whole nother topic that we could talk about for I think a really long time. And you make a really good point. So social reach or finding out where like social media in general. I know there's a lot of tools that you do social listening. We used to have a tool called Sprinkler that did that. It was too complicated. It was dubbed too complicated for support. So that's why we moved over to Reply by Buffer, which does pull in search for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, but Facebook's turned off. So Instagram, I've never seen support done on Instagram before. That would be kind of interesting. But that's Sierra and Liz, so if you are interested in participating around that, reach out to me and I can get you in contact with them if there's some time for it. That would be an interesting experiment. You got me thinking now, Chris. We'll leave that for next time. Thank you for those of you who have stuck by for our side chat here, where we discuss community, just on the day to day. It's really nice, really, to have you here. Thank you so much, Chris. And I'm going to end the meeting if that's okay, unless there's any other questions in IRC. I'm always open to chat more. Chris, if you want to stick around, we can chat some more after this. But
yeah, it sounds like your dog is not giving you a choice here.
You heard that. It's funny, you can hear my dog, but you can't hear me. Maybe I should get a bell or something. Ding, 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 ding. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you online.
All right. Bye.
Bye, y'all.